You are now locked in to the Sitting Down with the Sisters podcast.
I'm thinking of my
Guys, I don't even know what to say. What do you think? What do you think?
I know you guys heard that.
Spot the difference
from
season
from
two.
season 2 to season 3.
Do you need to hear it one more time?
I think they do.
I think you need to hear it one more time.
Some people probably skip our intros.
it's okay.
You are now locked in to the
No, you gotta
Sitting
do it
Down with
again.
the Sisters
You're
podcast.
ruining it.
It's her.
Ashley was talking over it.
Should we do it one more time?
One last
One
time
more
for
time.
the people. 3 years for luck. Okay.
Okay, cool.
You?
You are now locked in to the Sitting Down with the Sisters podcast.
Wow. That was a moment. It was a moment. Obviously, we are your hosts. I'm Ayo.
I'm Temi.
And I'm Ashley.
Welcome back, guys.
We missed you so much.
The podcast, season 3.
Wow,
Three,
wow,
baby.
wow, wow.
Obviously, I know for some people this might be a shock because I know us not recording a video for so long.
She can't even take it seriously.
You probably thought we separated, but
Not a separation.
you know, we're here to stay. Season 3. We had to take a little break. We didn't even get to finish season 2 the way we wanted because obviously COVID, tier 4, you know, Boris doing what Boris is doing. But yeah, we're back and we're so happy to be back.
I had to convince the girls, obviously, this is work.
Oh, here we go.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Of course
we're
this was
here
coming.
in the studio.
Right.
again. And guys, get onto them in the comments. Anytime it's on Zoom, get onto them. It's never me. Okay? Wonderful. And
Health first.
Health and safety first.
regarding season 2, what we mean by we didn't finish it properly is that we wanted to have 15 episodes, but we were only able to do 14. But this season, don't worry, we're going to do as best as we can to bring you all the goods.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
We're gonna get there. I genuinely believe we're gonna get to do all 15 episodes.
Or more, you never know.
Yeah,
Right.
that
But
part.
we're back with an amazing episode for you today. Though,
With
guys.
a bang.
A bang.
A bang.
Because a lot has been going on.
Yeah, exactly. A lot has been going on. And
A lot.
We're back and we're better.
Gucci or whatever.
A Gucci Uwuchi.
But yes,
Yeah.
Temi is going to start us off.
So this is our first episode back, as you guys know, and today we are starting with a bang, like I said. So the topic is basically colorism. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but on social media,
The phone.
sorry, on social media quite
Should we
recently.
listen?
Anyway, on social media quite recently, there's been a bit of an uproar with a situation that's just come about. I feel like colorism has always been a thing within the Black community. Black people have always, you know, especially with the new launch of Clubhouse, I feel like it's been a very big conversation that's been happening, quite popular,
Right.
really. And how do you define colorism?
That's what I was going to say. That should be the first
Yeah,
thing.
I think
How
we
would
should do that first, like for some people who might not know.
I personally wouldn't know how to define it. I can't. I
feel
can find the
it's
definition.
if you
Yeah.
Google it, my definition would be, to me, colorism is like the baby of racism. So it comes out of racism. It's like a fruit of racism, actually, I would say. Like, so obviously racism is discrimination and like hatred towards a specific race, usually a race that's like disadvantaged. And then colorism operates within that construct where it's now like, what would you call it? Like discrimination or
Prejudice, yeah.
or unfair treatment
within
towards-
a specific
race based on the hue or shade
Yeah.
of someone's
Of
skin
someone's
tone.
skin.
Yeah, basically, I think you
hit
summed it up perfectly.
You hit it on the nail.
Yeah.
Literally, it says prejudice or discrimination against individuals with a dark skin tone, typically among people of the same ethnic or racial group.
That's
Yes, exactly.
Period.
That's
Come
basically
through,
what it
Aya, with the definitions.
Well,
And the reason why I like this definition actually is because it specifically mentions dark-skinned people. And okay, I like it, but I'm not sure if, you know, it's the most appropriate. The reason I say that is because I have seen people discuss colorism in sort of like the other sort of like a different point of view, basically saying that light-skinned people can also experience colorism.
Yeah.
So it's
I think they can.
Yeah, so it's not just dark-skinned people, but I feel like the reason why that dark-skinned people was put in the definition, maybe because they experience it way more.
Yeah, I feel like they experience it worse, if anything, because I feel like people of lighter complexions, you're still at a disadvantage.
Yeah, exactly.
Within that specific race anyway. So for example, let's use the black race. Within black people, say for example, if there's like a movie role and they need someone, a woman of color, and then it's a dark-skinned woman and a light-skinned woman, the light-skinned woman is always going to be at a disadvantage because she looks, even though she's a woman of color, she looks more to she fits more to the European standards. Does that make sense?
But it's interesting you say that, because there's always been this discourse on the internet where when they are hiring people for roles in movies and they want to depict a black woman, they usually do pick a lighter skinned black woman.
That's why I use the movie role example, because I feel like, and this is not to downplay their work or their ability, but people like Amanda Stenberg, I think that's her name, Zendaya. There's one more as well that they always use. Like I think even Amanda Stenberg, she was supposed to play the role of T'Challa's sister in Black Panther. And I remember she came out and she was like, oh yeah, I was actually considered for the role, but I thought it would be better for someone who actually fits more within the, and I think she got backlash for that, because it was almost like, I mean, I get the sentiments behind why she said what she said, but it was almost like, oh, I was picked, I gave the role to her, sort of thing. So that was a bit, but to sum up what I'm basically saying, I feel like light-skinned women will always be at a disadvantage. That's why I feel like anyway.
At an advantage or disadvantage?
At an advantage,
yeah,
sorry.
That's why I was
sorry, have I been saying disadvantage?
That's why I was confused.
Oh, sorry, no. At an advantage. I didn't even realise. They will always be at an advantage.
Slightly above dark
women. But within the whole overall picture, if white women are involved, obviously that's a whole different conversation. But within the black race,
and just to add on to what Ashley says, speaking about, like, did you say, were you talking about movies? And literally I remember having a conversation with a mate like not too long ago, and she, out of nowhere, she just literally said, oh my god, like I don't remember ever seeing like a dark-skinned woman in a perfume advert. And I was just like, that's interesting. Like I don't think I have either. Like if you have seen a dark-skinned woman, I'm probably sure it's like Lupita or something.
And that's usually makeup. I feel
it's like more like Lancome, like makeup,
L'Oreal, all those
perfume. You get like Halle Berry, like so the lighter skinned woman, like black women. And I feel like they just
Zoe Kravitz for Black Opium.
So they just think once like a light-skinned woman is in an advert, that's them covering
diversity.
Like that's diversity and that's ticked off the box. But that's not the case. And obviously going a bit deeper into more recent times and what's happened recently, there was a situation, I don't know if you guys are aware, you probably are, if not we'll tell you about it now. So there's a situation that recently happened about 2-3 weeks ago, with
maybe a week or two,
about a week or two ago, with Rochelle Humes. Is that
right?
Humes?
I love her, by the way. Before we start,
no,
shout out to her.
Amazing person.
She's a real one.
We're not, at the end of the day, this wasn't even to come for her anyway. It's just of this, like, unfortunately, the situation. Exactly.
Right.
So Rochelle Humes and Candice Braithwaite. Right. So there was a situation where a documentary was supposed to be made on sort of
why black women are dying at a higher rate compared to anybody within NHS here in the UK.
In the UK, in pregnancy. So obviously Candice, is it Candice? Candice was supposed to look further into that documentary and basically sort of present the documentary, especially for a woman that's actually gone through it herself.
She's been speaking about it,
and she's been an advocate for it for years.
Right, and I've watched a documentary on her talking about her experience with the NHS and how she was disregarded and dismissed in terms of how she felt about certain things and how the midwife treated her. So originally, from my understanding, Candice was actually meant to obviously present it. And for some reason, out of nowhere, I don't think there was a warning, nothing, we just got to hear that Rochelle was going to be hosting it.
She announced it,
Rochelle was actually the person that came forward saying, you know what, this is what's happening, I'm hosting it now. And there was no backstory as to why Candice wasn't doing it anymore.
Actually, you know what's funny? Before Rochelle came out, because I don't follow Candice, but I follow Rochelle, I didn't know Candice was meant to do it.
I don't think anybody knew.
Later on, I then saw she'd actually spoken about it before Rochelle even came out, and she said she'd been the job had been withdrawn.
And I think that's even worse, because at the end of the day, how did we not even know Candice was supposed to do it in the first place? But the first person we're hearing from is Rochelle. So at first, when I heard Rochelle was doing it, I didn't feel any sort of way. I just thought, okay,
I thought amazing. She's hosting it.
Like,
this is going to be really good.
Even, I'm not going to lie, though, even though at the back of my head I thought, like, does she, not to say she doesn't relate, but but they could have found maybe
Interesting.
someone.
Does she know?
Just I literally thought it for a second, not even knowing Candice was even meant to host it. I think where people got annoyed was when they realized that Candice was originally meant to be the presenter of that documentary rather than Rochelle, and it just seems as if she was literally kicked off it. What do you guys think?
See, that's the thing. I was going to ask you girls first of all, do you think it's a colorism thing? Because later on it has come to light now that apparently there was 2 documentaries. The one Candice is talking about and the one Rochelle. Obviously that could
two
just
different
be,
ones.
that could
They're
just be PR.
Them saving face.
So let's be honest,
right?
that could
Exactly.
just be PR and cap. But
So wait, Candice is still hosting a documentary?
No, they're saying that like when they were trying to resolve it in the media, because obviously Rochelle had to turn off her comments, everything, because people were
getting on
dragging her.
and like so they came out with a story kind of along the lines of there was two documentaries that were meant to come out, and the Candice one got cancelled maybe.
Wait, so it's 2 documentaries of the exact same thing?
That doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense. Yeah, when you think about it, it doesn't make sense. But essentially what I was saying is Candice obviously had her own documentary, and I think another network picked up, which does happen very frequently, more frequent than what people would actually realise. Another network picked it up, and then they got, I think maybe they probably stole the proposal and stole the idea.
So?
That's why Candice probably feels like, hold on, this is what I was doing. Because it doesn't make sense for 2 documentaries to come out about the same thing, sort of thing. Like that doesn't, if anything, I feel like it would come out like a year apart after each other, or 2 years. Why would it both the same
thing
exactly?
The same time. So that's why I
obviously
understand why people think they were maybe trying to save face.
I just
so
do you think it's a colorism issue? Honestly, I would say half and half. I felt like it was a colorism issue, and also, this is going to sound so mad, but let me explain, a class issue as well. Really? The reason why I say class issue is that's not to say Rochelle is higher than the other. What I mean by that is that, let's be really real, has Rochelle used the NHS for any of her pregnancies?
And
that's
no,
I'm she just had a baby.
I'm actually just like, this is not even me coming for her.
I don't think you're coming
or
for
like, but I'm genuinely just want like.
That's a good question.
Do you know why? In fact, how are you coming for her?
Do you know why I'm asking? Because if I was someone like Rochelle, obviously she's married to Marvin Humes. If you don't know, Marvin Humes was watching JLS. Rochelle was in the Saturdays,
baby.
Period. And I can only assume that they have money.
Right.
And
they definitely have money.
me, and they present a lot of shows for BBC, all of these different networks.
They're quite up. Let's be real. Like, they seem
so
like
me personally, if I had money, me and my husband had money, there's no way I'm using the NHS. I'm going private.
Right.
Okay.
So that's why I'm asking, has she ever experienced, not to say that you have to experience something firsthand for you to cover it and to give light on it, but at the same time, in this aspect,
you kind of do,
because it's like, I don't know, it's just it. That's why I feel like it's class and
I get you.
Colorism.
Because the subject topic is so heavy, like especially if you see the statistics, like the disproportion between what Black women experience in pregnancy versus every other race. Even because people's other issue is that Rochelle is not Black, Rochelle is mixed race,
right?
So biracial mixed race, which I don't know which one is the correct term, but
we're just saying that for people who might correct us.
Like, it's a different statistic. You're hosting something about a different statistic. Even the statistics for biracial women is way lower than the statistics for Black women.
We just experienced an influencer passing away last year. Rest in peace, Nicole Thea. A Black woman, you know, who vocalized her issues that she was having, and she was dismissed. So I feel like there's just certain things that it's like me. I would never. I feel like personally, when it comes to stuff like stillborns, miscarriages, I can't see myself, if I've never experienced it, God forbid, being so loud, trying to and taking it away from someone who has experienced it firsthand.
Do you guys feel like she knew that that Candice was meant to do it?
That's the thing. I don't think
basically got replaced by her.
I personally don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I would like to think she doesn't, but having worked for an entertainment company, I saw firsthand like how roles were just taken from people, and then like there'll be in discussion like, oh, we want you for this, blah blah blah, and for whatever reason they can't do it, or the people in charge change their minds. They're like, okay, let's go with this person instead. And on the other side, it's like they're with Rochelle. Obviously, we're asking, do we think she knew? I would like to think she doesn't, because she doesn't give me those kind of vibes. However, we never know people in this life. We really don't. And even if she did know, I don't think it was really and truly. I don't know. Like, what do people expect her to do? Like, give up the
I think people would
the
expect
job.
her to give up the
Yeah,
role.
no, people did say
to
that
be
she
honest.
should give it
Right.
up. Absolutely.
And to be honest, I would think that's an admirable thing to do, especially
Right,
if
yeah.
you cannot personally. Yes, okay, because her response, she then obviously issues an apology
I saw
or like
that.
a statement, not apology,
Yeah.
because she doesn't really have.
She
anything
didn't
to apologize
apologize.
for. She doesn't. I don't necessarily think I don't necessarily know if she has anything to apologize for essentially yet until we know she took it from her. Do you know what I mean? But like in her statement, she essentially said she just wants to give these stories a platform. And obviously that was another discussion with the whole thing. Like Rochelle is more known than the other lady.
Yeah.
And so that was another thing. But then for me, it's not really about a
I was
person
going to say
being
that
known.
it's not about being known. This is not entertainment. This is
Yeah,
not
it's a
something where
serious
we're
thing.
trying to collect views
Right.
just so that
Because it takes away from the
This
cause.
is real life, what people are going through.
And how
Right.
many documentaries of people watch that you don't know the host?
And
More
I-
time you don't even know the
Facts.
host.
I feel like as long as the documentary is doing what it's supposed to, like
Yeah.
the purpose of it is to shed light on what the situation is about, it will reach the right audience.
That's it.
And that's all they should focus on, rather than, gaining, views and, money. Like, it just, for something so sensitive, for something
The
that,
cause should outweigh the profit.
like,
sort
people
of
are
thing.
going through these things every day. We're black women ourselves, like, we're gonna want to have kids one day. Like, if I saw a documentary like that, I would never look away and think, oh, it doesn't have anything to do with me, I'm not watching it.
Oh,
Do you know
because
what
the
I mean?
host isn't someone that I know, I'm not watching
Do you know
it.
what I mean? I will absolutely take it on board and watch everything that has to do within, like, it's to do with my community. Do you know what I mean?
So then, do you girls think then that well, obviously you said it would be an admirable thing for her to give up the role and everything.
If it was taken from
So then do you think, even now, in light of everything, so she knows that Candice was someone who was working on it,
she's
everything.
still doing it.
Do you not think she should, like, at least ask, okay, like, Candice, do you want to come on, like, co-presenting?
Yeah, that would be nice.
I don't.
But I also think it's a slap in the face, to be honest. Because co-present, but it just seems like a pity. It just seems pity.
Oh, we'll just
like
give you this so you
pity.
can shut up.
Co-host something that your whole life you've been standing up for. Like, come on. And it's also like out of because I made noise. Because I think the issue with colorism, because to drive it home to the topic we'll come here to talk about, when a dark-skinned woman expresses upset about something, it always comes across as though she's complaining, she's moaning, she's angry, she's bitter, she's everything.
Angry black woman.
Where she's just expressing a normal emotion that anybody would have to something like this that's so personal to your, like, literally so personal to your life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, people did definitely come for Rochelle, and I'm not gonna act like they didn't, but like
they did, absolutely.
But like,
she got it. That's why she had to turn her comments.
Her comments off. All her comments.
Like, what she expressed even after she told people about the job being taken away from her is like, this is not like the first time she's experienced this kind of experience in the industry.
Yeah.
This is just like another, and she actually expressed in the video that she spoke that this is one of the times that she's felt like not being in
the
own
industry.
skin. No, not being in her own skin. She wishes she was lighter. Like, she vocalized that in her video. And for me, that was so upsetting because obviously I'm a dark-skinned black woman myself. Even though I don't even like the category, I really don't like when people do the dark-skinned, light-skinned caramel. I really don't like that. Because
It's not necessary. It's
mocha.
Like we're all here just perpetuating.
What is that?
Do you know what I mean? We're all here just perpetuating
Caramel.
this thing, actually putting a hierarchy to something that doesn't flipping matter.
That's why some girls on Twitter think they can go and start getting annoyed.
I'm actually glad you even
They're
brought
gonna
up.
start getting annoyed because someone called them dark skin.
But like,
That's
before
it.
we jump into that, like,
I want to bring
like,
up that
on
situation
the topic
as well.
of Candy specifically, that feeling of wanting to be lighter, so many dark-skinned women can relate to that.
Can
So
vouch.
many.
And that shouldn't be the
And
case.
it should not be the case.
You can't. It really and truly, when you look at those dark skinned women that do wish those things, like, it's coming from somewhere. They don't just wake up one morning and decide, I want
It's
to be
all in
lighter
their
skin.
head.
There is a reason why they're thinking what they're thinking. They see things and they see the opportunity. Remember when we spoke about, what did we, completely forgot. But I remember about, like, literally, like, I forgot what I was saying. But
a podcast episode.
yeah, I forgot the actual topic of the podcast episode, and I forgot what we were even talking about, but I'll go back. But yeah, like, they just don't wake up with that idea to be lighter skin. It
starts
comes
from
from somewhere.
Yeah, I feel like
mean?
the frustration is that they want to see changes.
Yeah.
We need to see changes. It's not just, say sorry and issue a statement
Or
and
just
have someone from the network
or
reach
just
out and
give it to-
apologize,
or just give it to
even
them
say,
because you just want to shut them up.
we need to
like,
see changes.
these
Like,
are
I don't want
people's
my
feelings.
children, like, I'm gonna have black children in the future. I don't want them to be raised in this system where they feel like, oh, do you know what? I can't go for that role if there is someone of a lighter complexion than me applying for it because I don't stand a chance.
Get it
That's not how it
even
should
though
be.
you're equally talented, or
Right,
even more
and I don't want them to feel how Candice felt in that moment, her feeling like for a second, for a split moment, do you know what, how would things be if I was of a lighter complexion? I never want them to feel like that
in this day and age as well. It's still something
sad.
that's so prominent. Like, I don't understand.
And the craziest part for me is like there's two sides to it, because I'm really getting tired of this whole diversity inclusion talk. I don't know why, but what's pissing me off about it more is that it just seems like a pity thing now. It just seems like, oh, you're a token. I don't want to be hired for something just because I'm dark skinned. But I understand that there has to be those measures in place because of
equality,
the disparity. But it also feels like a slap in the face to me that it's like that is tokenism as well. So I don't even know where the middle ground is.
And you know what, obviously I feel like just slightly different, but it relates in a way. It's very similar to like racial issues as well, in a sense where black people, that tokenism thing that you were just talking about, I feel like as a community we experience that as well, where it's just like as black people, or we have this particular space within the job sector just for this black person, and it just feels like just hire me because I'm a human being.
Just hire me because I'm actually, I can do the role. And I'm gonna do it very well.
I get reasons for doing it is because of diversity, and you want to, include everyone in it so everyone can have a voice at the end of the day. But the fact that, I'm sorry, this sounds so cheesy, but the fact that we're all humans is just something in itself. Like, we should have a voice anyway. Like, do you know what I mean?
And yes, because of all the rubbish in the past of racism, that's why it has become a thing. But it needs to now just be normal that everybody's human, everybody gets equal opportunities.
Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely. But moving on to the Twitter situation, we'll talk about that one briefly because I've got one more sort of instance of colorism that came up on Twitter as well. But so a few weeks ago there was this girl, she must have posted a video of her. She was a very pretty girl. She is a very pretty girl. And what was it? Someone must have commented saying, oh, pretty dark-skinned woman. And she must have responded saying, oh, thank you, but I'm not dark-skinned. I'm brown skin or something like that. And it got a lot of attention, like socials, just everyone on Twitter. You know how Twitter is, everyone picked it up. Like, she got mixed comments. I think a majority of it were quite negative, and a lot of people felt offended, especially dark-skinned women felt offended. But what do you guys think of that, Ashley?
Do you know what, can I just add on to that?
To go first.
Because obviously her initial response was, oh, thank you so much, but I'm not dark-skinned. So obviously someone was like,
she said, I'm not dark skin, I'm brown skin, not just.
I thought she just said that, and then someone said, okay, just out of curiosity, then what do you consider yourself as?
I don't know.
And then that's when she said, she even said mocha or caramel.
What's mocha or caramel?
I think she said brown skin, then later on she then went down and said mocha.
Because I saw someone asked her someone asked her, okay, what do you see yourself as then, if you just out of curiosity, because I see that I'm the same skin tone as you, so then what do you consider yourself?
I saw that.
And then she said it was either mocha or caramel.
Right.
What's mocha or caramel? Those are foundation shades, babe. That's not real life.
It like
what does that mean? Mocha, caramel.
For me, at first I was like, what the hell is going on?
Caramel.
But then I also, and then
young.
do you know what it is? It got to the point where she actually had to upload a picture and say like, this is my video.
Oh, pictures. I know what you're talking about. Sorry.
This is my real skin without filter, without makeup, and she was
still dark skinned. Sorry.
Was she dark skinned?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I don't get it.
To some people, like, she wasn't dark skinned.
To me, she's a dark skinned.
That's my problem with the hierarchy thing about who's dark skinned, who's not. It doesn't matter. Right. My issue is not with her. My issue is with the system in place, because
there's that.
Because the thing is,
she played a part.
For sure.
What it triggered in me when I saw it is when I was in school and people used to take the piss out of my skin tone, and nobody wanted to be as dark as like me. Everybody wanted to be the nice shade of black, and that's the thing it triggered in me.
The nice shade of black.
Like, what the hell does that mean?
And that's what I'm saying. That's I think Temi's probably going to say this is. Her response played into that as well. And that's the issue that I have within the black community. It's like, if someone says, oh my gosh, like if someone was to say to me, for example, oh, you're a pretty dark skin, do you think I'm going to be up there on the socials debating back and forth? I'm not dark skin. I'm not.
And the thing is, it came in a form
I'm Frappuccino. What are you talking about? What does that mean? You think I'm going to be on the socials going back and forth? Is it cocaine? No, because I think no.
Do you know what it is? Especially because it came in a form of a compliment. All you had to do was focus on the compliment. Thank you.
That's
move
it.
on. That was where, and the reason why I said that she added to it is because I feel like she knew what she was doing. Like, it just didn't make sense for you to be so what's the word? Like
against it, defensive.
That's the word.
She's made a song, for goodness sake. In the song, she said, "I'm not dark skinned."
I was gonna. Did you not see it? She did a little TikTok on her birthday.
I didn't know.
So let me explain. So
you watched it. You just didn't read.
She done a video and you know how people sing behind like the TikTok video, the background noise, and she's like, "It's the skin for me." Yeah.
She's like, "I'm not dark skinned. It's the skin for me.
It's a brown skin babe," or something like that. But anyway, my point is, I feel like I'm not gonna lie, she became a troll after that. She had to that had to be trolling. She had to have been trolling and just trying to get on be offensive on purpose. But my thing is just personally, she fed into it because
for sure,
it's just, you came across defensive. You knew exactly what you were doing. Like, you knew that it was going to offend certain people. It's almost like, oh my gosh, I'm not dark skinned. Like, what does that mean?
It's almost as if the comment offended you.
Basically.
That's my issue with it, because it's been
Don't be offended.
That's been a thing in the black community. Oh, I'm not that dark, or like, oh, if someone was to compliment your skin tone, always deep. Oh, but I'm not as dark as that person. What the hell does that mean?
Y'all see Asians doing that?
They do though, but
true.
Do
you know what I never said that? Because I know it happens within the white community, it happens in the Asian community as well. But as a whole, that shouldn't be the case.
In the white community, it's reversed. They don't want to be pale; they want to be tan.
Right.
But in the black community, is we want to be fairer than we want to be dark.
Yeah. And I don't know why I said that, because I know Asians definitely.
Oh, they have a caste system.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
If you're dark, it's because you've been working out in the field. If you're light, it's because you're at home.
That's where it came from.
Yeah.
That's where the whole tanning came from back in the days. Like, that's why back then no one wanted to be sort of darker, because they felt like they were,
even during secondary school. Remember, black people didn't want to be like, don't want to get too dark.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be blick. That word, blick. Traumatized.
As in triggered.
Blick. Oh my
was that not my life?
PTSD.
It's sad. If we even talk about personal experience, even in secondary school, because it was me and Temi initially, I could see the difference in the way people used to treat me and Temi.
And I feel like that's why I feel like I'm so vocal when it comes to like colorism. When people when it's being spoken about within black community, when people want to open their big mouths and say, oh yeah, but colorism doesn't exist, I'm the one that will open my mouth and tell you it does, because I experienced it firsthand in our friendship in secondary school. Even though, like, not to say like I wasn't
I'm actually triggered.
Yeah, not to say that I didn't get it either, not to say I was completely out of it. We all did, whatever, but I feel like the difference was so obvious.
And then when other Temi joined, it got worse. So we don't even need to, that can be a whole
other discussion, boy.
It's real. That's all.
It's very real.
And I feel like somewhere, and we need to.
I was going to say, we should discuss where we think it comes from, because I personally think it's because it's a fruit of racism.
Right.
So then your proximity to whiteness is what birthed colorism. That's what I think. Birthed colorism.
And you know what I was gonna say, like, I had to think about this properly, and I'm wrong for even thinking it. I was gonna say it only exists within sort of like, the westernized society, but that's not the case, because back home they be using them bleaching creams, Carolite,
all of it, mate.
It's selling like hotcakes.
Fair and Light, Fair and Beauty, all of those, like
Whitenacious. There's one called that.
Whitenacious.
Even the product that came out, Black China, I think she collaborated with
Whitenacious. Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, that's the one.
Even Bobrisky as well is doing it, selling his own bleaching cream. And I forgot her name.
It's so normalized.
Oh, I can't believe I forgot her name. There's a Nollywood actress. She done a documentary on Netflix. Beverly Naya. She done a documentary on Netflix about it, Bobrisky, and she went to a lot of women that basically bleach just to ask them questions like why, like what caused this, and really and truly, a lot of them did say that if they could go back, that they wouldn't have done it, because with bleaching you have to keep it up, like
and
you
have
to maintain it.
You have to maintain it. It's high maintenance.
You can always, like, this is not even to sound rude, but you can always tell when someone has bleached, because the lightness that your bleaching brings, it's not a light that's actually real. Light. Yeah, it's like it's almost like it's like it's off almost.
Like, how do you
like
put chemical on your skin and change it completely?
That's going into your bloodstream.
For me, it's more about the root, like, because now you've done that to your skin, you're taking away the layers of your skin, right? And then now especially if you live in Africa, you're exposing it to the sun. You do not know.
These people are not wearing sunscreen.
That's why they're burning. If you look, a lot of them, they burn in it.
They're red.
Yeah.
And my thing is, when you have children, or like some of these people that already have children, whatever, but for the young people who are doing it, and then you have children, your child is not going to come out the color that you've bleached. it's gonna come out
So
the
what, you're
before.
gonna bleach
So what are you gonna
too?
teach your child?
Do you know what's crazy? In a lot of African cultures and Caribbean, they do bleach their kids. Have you heard about that?
Did you not hear? I said,
Like,
what, you're
they're
gonna bleach
actual
them too? Yeah,
I didn't hear you. No.
I didn't hear you.
They're babies. They bleach the baby.
Jesus.
I've
Or
heard-
they
I've heard
bath
of
them
that.
in like specific bath.
I've heard
like
of that. I've heard of that. When they come out darker, they bleach them.
Yeah.
Or and that's why I don't know if you ever experienced. I don't know if I personally did, but in secondary school, you get 1-2 kids that bleach.
And like, I'm not even gonna cap here. I think the only reason that I never had the phase of wanting to be lighter is because in my house, it was never a thing that I was dark, if that makes sense. Like my mum is darker than my dad, but like we're all, see, I don't like the hierarchy thing, but you know what I'm saying. And my mum, like, I asked her, when you were younger, did you ever want to like be lighter? Like, do you like your skin tone? She was like, I've always loved it.
Oh,
I've loved it.
this is what it should.
See,
be
that's
for everyone.
amazing.
In a lot of households, parents have literally said to your kid, "You're black. Like, you look black. Have you been playing too much outside? You're black. Like, dirty.
Like, you look dark, or when they see you dark, no, like they make it sound like it's such a bad thing that you've
How
even
can you
gotten
say
a
you're
tan.
black?
You're black.
Yeah, that's what I am.
You're
black.
getting more black." Like, can you imagine? And if that's in your house, what else are you supposed to do?
That's it, because it
Where
all
else
starts
are you
from
supposed
home.
to learn it from if the house.
It
ain't
all
teaching you
starts
right?
from home.
in the house.
But obviously, still on the topic of colorism.
Yes.
I learned this on Twitter just a few.
If you have any facts as well for this, because obviously I don't know if we fact checked it properly, so we don't know.
Of course,
but if you know the facts, but I think it's true because of the way it was done.
Oh yeah. Of course, disclaimer. Obviously, I think it's facts
Same.
too, but I
Same.
could be wrong. And I did do a bit of research,
Okay,
and I
cool.
do. Yeah, I did. It did come up, but I learned it on Twitter. I saw it on Twitter first. So
Okay.
there was a situation. Obviously, we all know Rosa Parks, the first black woman that said no to sitting at the back of the bus.
To
So
getting up.
she getting up and rebelling against sitting at the back of the bus. Yeah. So the way they've made it out, everyone's saying she's the face of it, and the reason why I understand why is because when you think of Rosa Parks, that's the first thing you think about.
Right.
She led it basically. But I got to find out through Twitter that a woman called Claudette Colvin was actually the first black woman to actually be rebellious and say no to sitting at the back of the bus.
Right.
And someone must literally, the first tweet I saw about it was obviously they put both their pictures side by side. They put their pictures side by side, and they talked about Claudette, and they said, and the person that tweeted them must have been like, guess why Claudette wasn't the face of it? And this is so mad because at first, after seeing it didn't click straight away. I didn't understand the reason why, and I had to read the comments, and everyone was like, colorism. And yeah, what do you guys think of that? Because Claudette was a 15-year-old woman at the time. She was still a young teenager at the time. Do you think it had to do with age because she was young and they just didn't want a younger girl to be at the cover because they wanted someone like a bit older, maybe because they wouldn't have taken a teenager more seriously? Or do you think it has to do with the colour of her skin?
It's definitely more colorism than age, because if you want to talk about age, they were very happy to talk about it when it was Emmett Till and they wanted to kill him. He was a child.
Right. Great point.
When it's
Facts.
negative, it's okay. But when it's positive,
Oh, it's not age. It's not colorism.
it's not age.
It's no.
So I personally think I didn't know that babe. I didn't know her name.
I didn't know
Sorry.
Claudette Colvin existed.
I didn't know
I didn't
her.
know that, babe.
No, I didn't know the babe.
No,
Like, I didn't.
facts.
Facts.
Who
Like,
do you know the babe?
Even when I was growing up in school, yeah, we would do Black
I
History
didn't know
Month,
either.
Rosa Parks and Harriet Tubman were my babes.
That's
Do you know what I mean?
it.
Those
My
were
babes.
my babes. Like, I loved them.
Yeah.
If
We
I'd
only
known
knew
about
those two.
Claudette, she
She'll
would
be
be
your
my
babes
babes.
too. Now she can be your babes. Now you
know.
know.
What I'm saying?
I find it so mad.
It's the same. Sorry, I just need to draw this parallel. I know it's very distant, but it's the same with iconography in Christianity. Yeah, the reason why so many people have accepted Jesus is because he is in a white face.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow,
But
wow,
Jesus
wow, wow.
was not white.
Wow, wow,
So
wow.
it's similar like that. Like for a lot of these people, it's about digestibility. If this person, that's not a real word, I know, don't worry. If somebody
like
with lighter skin tends to be more digestible to the people
Than someone
that's
who's
what
of
they think. That's
facts.
what, that's what they think. Because
But that's what we've been fed.
That's what we've been
really
fed,
and truly.
exactly.
Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I've grown up thinking Jesus was,
white.
I've only about 2-3 years ago that I've started to, read more, and my eyes have,
And you actually
It's
deep.
even crazy because the
understand
Bible
more.
tells you what he looks
Olive
like. Balls.
And it doesn't come close to
The picture.
But that's okay. But yeah,
Is it okay?
No, you know it's not okay. But
It's
you know
not
what I'm
okay.
saying?
It's really sad.
But
It's
yeah,
really
Claudette.
it's like obviously talking about talking about. I like the way that you've related back to Christianity, because I'm on this journey of discovering things in the Bible and realizing that there are some missing parts. Like, is it just like there are missing parts in the Bible? If you really think, of course, that it's like, you know, the story adds up and everything, but there are parts where I feel like, you know. Did black people exist in the Bible?
Yeah.
They did?
Yeah.
Of course they did.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
There's a guy from Ethiopia. He was one of the first people outside of the Middle East to accept Christianity. That's
Okay, in the
New
Bible.
Testament, yeah,
in the
yeah.
New was any in the Old Testament?
They were probably
Okay.
black, because if you think about where the origins of the world came from and everything,
Okay.
people say it's from Africa. So if you think about it like that, they were, and obviously Egypt is a big central part of Christianity because of the Israelites.
Yeah,
going around.
in Old Testament.
They were them sides of the world.
The reason why I'm asking this is because growing up, going to Sunday school, reading about people from the Bible, like from the images and everything that they didn't look like me.
Yeah,
They didn't look like me. They just look like, you know, foreigners. So it's just no, they looked foreign. They didn't look like me. They didn't look like my dad or my mum.
We're gonna call them foreigners, but they're not foreigners to themselves.
Right, I was brought up in
That's
Nigeria. Everyone
Yeah.
around me were black. So
Yeah.
if I'm looking at a white man or an Arab-looking man on the screen, I'm listening to the teachings, and it's just like, oh, okay,
I'm
that's
listening,
fine.
I'm
I'm
following.
listening. I'm taking it in. It's going in my ear. It's coming out the other. But you know,
Yeah.
do you get what I'm
I
trying to
feel
say?
you.
No, I get what you're
Like,
saying. Yeah.
But that's the thing. And also, the last thing I think we should leave you guys with as a leaving message is don't feed into it, because it's very easy to get lost in that source. I'm telling you now.
Yeah.
Like, you saw black people, our own very own black people, feeding into it in secondary school.
Right.
And you still see it now on the TL.
On socials, yeah.
Facts.
It's so easy.
Wait, so
Like, even when people do little stuff like, I'm sorry, stuff like this really annoys me when they get two black celebrities, female celebrities, one happens to be light skinned and another one happens to be dark
actually, you're
skinned,
always reading my mind.
and then they're like, oh, which one would you go
That was
for?
the-
Which one?
That was where the Georgia Smith and Any thing came up,
Yeah.
right? Like, remember they released a tune together.
Peng Black Girls. If you haven't listened
Peng
to
Black
that song,
Girls.
listen
Shout
to
out.
the
Area
original,
Code,
because
it's really banging.
people
That deserves
forgot
as
that
much
there's
hype.
People
Yeah.
forget there's an original
Yeah.
featuring Am I a Brave?
And then obviously just a quick one. So with that one, apparently we just a lot of people just happen to talk about Georgia Smith more on the song and saying that, you know, focusing on her and giving her like more of the accolades and the credits and just the flowers, when it was originally Any song. But I don't know, like I'm throwing out there, is that colorism, or do you think that was based on the fact that Any's still upcoming? Georgia Smith has been in the limelight for a while, and you know, when you don't know someone, it's just like, okay, and you know how people feel about Georgia Smith, they like, you know, she's beautiful and she just sort of took over.
Let's be really real, baby. It was colorism. Let's be real.
To me,
Obviously
it's both, 'cause
that,
it can be-
but I feel like it's more so colorism, because really and truly, it's like people were pretending like, oh no, it's down to musicality, you know, Georgia Smith and her voice. The song without Georgia Smith was great.
Facts.
It wasn't like the song was just some little thing and Georgia Smith came and made it
her thing on
phenomenal.
She did her thing
And
on
there's
that
nothing
song.
wrong with Georgia Smith being on the song.
That's-
Because a lot of
that's
people
it.
said, why didn't she remix it with another dark-skinned woman?
I don't think that was necessary. It can be Georgia
It would have
Smith,
fed
like-
into the thing we're talking
Right.
about.
Yeah.
Like,
That they can't be on the screen together.
The song
Like the
is called,
tokenism thing that you were talking about.
Right.
the song is literally called Peng Black Girls. Georgia Smith is half black. Whatever.
She
be
can
in the
identify
song.
as black.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And
Absolutely
she
can.
can obviously relate to being a black, like having black.
And
Experience.
it has nothing to do with her, because obviously she's
come there innocently and been
Right,
on the song.
exactly.
I think it's more people's reaction. People
Yeah.
wanted to big up the song more when Georgia Smith was on the remix, but
Right.
when maybe people didn't know about Any, maybe they didn't.
that too.
But now that you know, you should actually maybe make the effort because
To go
it's
back to the
Any's
original.
song. Yeah, it happens all the time.
It's sad.
It's very sad.
It is very sad, and we've seen the effects of colorism in the media. If you want to talk about Lil Kim, if you want to talk about all these people from
So
back in the day,
many,
there's
yeah.
so many things in the music industry, entertainment industry. Period. Like, it's just sad.
Oh yeah, Lil Kim, my
You know?
babes. That's
It's
my
very
babes.
sad.
So then I think to round up, I
Yeah.
think we should I think what we as our generation need to do, because we're so vocal, use your vocality for something sensible. When you're commenting under people's pictures, if you know yourself to be somebody that's very willing to you look black like charcoal, Think about yourself when you're commenting things like that, because you're also the person feeding into the narrative that people are not comfortable in their dark skin.
Right.
If you have nothing nice to say, keep
Don't
it to
say
yourself.
it, man.
And you're adding to the division within ourselves, and we don't need that.
We
really don't, because some of you were screaming Black Lives Matter last year. This year you're already saying gorilla, ape.
Pick your side.
It hasn't even been a
you
full
can't play
year.
both sides, you know.
It hasn't even been a full year.
You were full front.
Some
you
of
were
you
caught you were caught on photograph putting up BLM.
That's
you were
it. You did the blackout
you
Tuesday.
Were caught, but then you were seeing the tweets in 2021.
In the comments, you were black as
later,
night.
You forgot
It's
to
not making
struggle
sense.
because it was really right in the middle of a pandemic. You left your house to go shout BLM, and you're forgetting that so quickly.
Very quickly.
1 minute is George Floyd, the next is gorilla. Pick.
Next is charcoal.
Pick.
No, honestly, pick,
Be
because
wise,
it's
be
black
wise.
people that perpetuate it a lot.
Oh, for sure.
Like, a lot, and it's a struggle.
And that's
we
not
have
to
within
take away
ourselves.
from the fact that white people or our counterparts
they feed on
make it worse.
Yeah, they feed on it.
But
If
we
there's
don't need to do it within ourselves.
If there's division within the camp, and they're profiting from it outside.
What are we fighting for then?
So start inside. If you're a man or a woman that loves to come and tell people about the hue of their skin tone, start thinking, what is wrong with me? I've got a problem,
and I need to seek help, and I need to do my research.
Yeah.
So
and educate yourself,
Maybe I
and
need to
have those conversations within your friendship groups.
Yes.
Instead of going so quickly on social media just for the retweets and the likes, make sure you're having those conversations in real life too.
Yes,
because that's most important, and that's how change is gonna come.
Correct. Thank you for watching, guys.
Our very first episode of season 3.
Oh, we hope you enjoyed it.
We do hope you enjoyed it. We love you. See you
Bye,
next
guys.
week.
ADE. Bye.
Bye.